Hey, everybody, welcome to Rivers Ramblings 10 Healing Magic, because therapy isn't always covered. So it's time to stir the cauldron, spill the tea, and hopefully not your wine. Obviously, I wanted to do an episode on healing magic because I've been struggling myself with the need to heal. And if I can add anything to help my healing, I need to do it. I feel like I've aged about 10 years in the past year. I look it, I feel it, and it's just so depressing. I did change out my altar yesterday. I made myself some healing affirmation cards to put on my altar, and I love them. And I put a blue candle and a green candle up, and I ordered a skeleton lighter for my altars, just for my altar candles. I created a healing spell, which I'm going to post for our Patreons, on Patreon for our patrons. And so I'm really digging in deep to figure out this whole healing thing. I need help. Some witches will make a healing tea and be like, this chamomile is for relaxation, this ginger is for nausea, and this honey is for soothing. And that's all true. But I'm here just sneaking into the kitchen for some alcohol going, this vodka is for pretending that I'm fine. And obviously I'm not. So I'm not trying to make light of the need for healing. It's a real thing. It's a real thing for me. I don't know how many of you guys out there are in need of healing as well. I hope this episode helps you guys. One of our patrons, Will, suggested that I go to a shaman, and that's definitely an option. I will talk a little bit about what kind of experts there are out there that could help you with your healing, as well as some self-healing things that you can do without having to go outside the privacy of your own home. I have to put in a disclaimer. Magical practices are not a substitute for medical care. Think of it this way. Magic works with energy, into intention, and the subtle body, while medicine works with biology, chemistry, and scalpels. But both can be powerful in their own lanes. But when you combine them together, that's when you get that holistic approach that might be just dynamite for what your body needs. So first, what is healing magic? Healing magic is the witchy art of channeling energy, intention, and natural correspondences like herbs, crystals, colors, and symbols to help restore balance, ease pain, and support recovery both physically, emotionally, and spiritually. It's not about waving your wand and suddenly curing strep throat. Sorry, Hogwarts people, which I am one of too, but we can't, that's not how it works. But it's more about creating rituals and practices that support the body's natural healing, boost emotional resilience, and smooth over spiritual rough patches. Think of it as a magical supplement to modern medicine, glitter on top of the antibiotics, moonlight alongside the therapy sessions. All of those things are not exclusive of one another. They can definitely complement one another. At its core, healing magic involves energy work using visualization, breathing, Reiki style hand placements, or channeling light into wounds or auras, herbal and kitchen witchery like teas, poultices, baths, and healing food charged with intention. I guess baths don't really belong in kitchen witchery, but they are herbal witchery. I mean, the kitchen actually is kind of the healing center of your house. At least I think so. The warm scents from the kitchen evoke strong feelings about being safe, taken care of, and at home. It's a place where people tend to congregate at special times. So yeah, it is the healing center, at least of our home. I love Revel Root Haven and how she brings us together. And I agree, the hearth in the living room with the fireplace is also important. But in our house, we have an open floor plan, so the kitchen and hearth are kind of all in the same space. It's also about crystals and stones. Those are thought to hold vibrations that promote physical and emotional healing. Rituals and spells, candle magic, cord cutting, sigils, and affirmations that help focus your willpower on wellness. I think this is more what I'm looking for. What spells can I do to help myself heal? Of course, it's not that simple. I can't just go and do a little rhyming spell and heal myself. It takes a lot more than that. But in short, Healing magic is about weaving intention with nature's tools to help your body, your mind, and spirit all get back to their best selves. And this isn't a replacement for your doctor, as I said. This is magic with a side of common sense. So, what types of healing magic are there? Well, obviously, physical healing, and I definitely am in need of that. That's what my whole ankle issue has been. The focus of physical healing is your body, like injuries, illnesses, pain, recovery. The tools you might use for physical healing could be herbs, teas, poultices, crystal grids, candle spells. And the element for physical healing is earth, solid, grounding, restorative. So, for example, a healing pouch with rosemary, amethyst, and a green candle might be a great healing for spell for physical needs that you have. Magic will not replace going to the doctor. I had to have that surgery. That was 100%. My magic can't do surgery on my ankle, but it might be it's more like a band-aid, I suppose. Well, I suppose it helps the bandages that the medical doctor puts on, and it might make them smell herbally delicious at the same time. I heard people always ask, can magic cure my cold or my sinus infection? And I'm like, sure, light a green candle and wave some sage, but then call your doctor, dumbass. It can't cure infection. It's the complementary effects to modern medicine. All right, emotional healing. The focus of emotional healing is grief, heartbreak, trauma, self-love. The tools might be water rituals, moon baths, rose quartz. I think that's huge for emotional healing is rose quartz, journaling spells. The element for emotional healing is water. It's fluid, soothing, and helps with emotional release. So, for example, you might write your heartbreak on a bay leaf, burn the bay leaf, and release that into running water. Do you find yourself crying over a glass of wine? Hey, congrats. You're already halfway to a water ritual. Mental healing. That focuses on anxiety, stress, overthinking, clarity, and focus. Tools might be incense, wind chimes, feathers, affirmations, breath work. And the element, of course, is air, thoughts, clarity, and the mind. So, for example, you might whisper affirmations into incense smoke to reprogram your mental chatter. I need that a lot. I mean, air magic is great for mental healing because sometimes your brain is just in need of a good saging, and that's a perfectly great way to do it. All right, what about spiritual healing? The focus of spiritual healing is energy, body, aura, soul wounds, past life baggage. Tools might be meditation, energy work, fire rituals, sound healing, and sigils. The element of spiritual healing is fire, which is transformation, purification, and rebirth. So, an example of this might be doing a cord cutting ritual with a black candle to help release toxic ties. Spiritual healing is kind of like an exorcism, except for it's more like a spa day than one that makes your head spin around and green soup fly out of your lips. Ancestral healing. The focus of this is generational wounds, inherited trauma, and family line curses. The tools are ancestor altars, offerings, ritual dialogue, and genealogical magic. The element for this is earth and spirit, roots plus the beyond. An example of doing this might be lighting a candle for your ancestors and asking them to help heal what's being carried down. Breaking generational curses can be super important and a great form of healing magic because someone has to stop what's being passed down. Someone has to stop that trauma from being passed down generation to generation like it's some kind of family heirloom. That brings me to shadow healing. The focus of shadow healing is integrating repressed emotions, fear, and the ugly parts of yourself. Quote, ugly. I don't know that anybody has ugly parts, but we all have a darkness that we believe to be ugly. The tools might be dark moon rituals, which there's a dark moon coming up, by the way, journaling, tarot, mirror work, and the element for shadow healing is all of them combined, but it is kind of heavy on water and earth. An example of this might be journaling your fears by candlelight and then burn them and scatter the ashes into your soil out in your backyard or on your patio to help transform. We've done an After Dark episode, I think, on shadow healing. So if you are interested more about shadow healing, become a patron and you can get access to that shadow healing episode. It's like free therapy, but with a goth aesthetic and a lot of crying and incense smoke. So magical healing covers the body, heart, mind, spirit, ancestors, and shadows. So basically, it is your full witchy healthcare plan. So how do you even figure out what's wrong? What needs healing? I mean, for me, obviously, my ankle, that was a physical thing that hurt and it got infected. And I knew 100% where that was. But sometimes you just feel off and you have no idea what is, quote, sick about what's going on with you. Is it mental? Is it your body? What is it? So, how do you figure this out? First thing you do is you listen to your body. So, look for clues: fatigue, headaches, stomach issues, tension in the muscles, illness flares. This is your body basically sending you an angry Yelp review. What does it mean? Try grounding rituals. If you feel better just standing barefoot out in the grass, your issue might be rooted in the physical. So basically, it's going to be trial and error to figure out what is wrong. The next thing you might do is notice your emotional patterns. What might the clues be to an emotional issue that needs to be healed? You might have mood swings. You might have a grief that you can't shake. You might have random crying. I turn to my husband sometimes and I'm like, I just feel like crying and I don't know why. That might be the sign that you need emotional healing. Apathy, that's another symptom. This could be your emotions waving red flags at you, like at a parade, or in my case, it's more like waving a red cape at a bull and hoping you don't get gored. So basically, ask yourself, if I cried right now, what would be it? What would it be about? Why would I be crying? Journal it. The first thing that pops up, that's probably your shadow waving. It's meant to give you a clue as to what your raging bull might be, what the red cape might be bringing out. Another way to try to figure out what's wrong with you is to watch your thoughts. This might present like a racing mind, intrusive thoughts, overthinking, brain fog, forgetfulness. Your brain can be the world's worst roommate, loud, messy, and it won't shut up. I saw a TikTok where someone said that they don't have inner dialogue. That is just crazy to me. Not only do I have one, but I've got like 50 all going on at the same time. My husband calls it the stadium in my head. It just blows my mind that there are people who don't have a constant inner dialogue. Yay for you, but it's out here for me. So try journaling or pulling a single tarot card. I do this a lot. This is one of my go-to ways to try to figure out what the fuck is wrong with me. I pull a single tarot card, and if the card hits your brain like a slap in the face, then hey, good job. It's your mental clutter that needs healing. Check out your energy. Are you feeling drained, disconnected from magic, no motivation, quote, soul tired? I love that phrase. I think that that's very accurate. I felt this way in winter, if you remember that episode that I did about the blues, the magical blues. Does your aura look like it skipped 3 therapy sessions and a nap? Try visualizing your aura. Is it holy? Holy is not the right word. Not holy, Holy, like law, but does it have holes in it? Is it gray? Is it sludgy? Is it sticky? I don't know how really to describe it, but you may need spiritual healing if your aura just isn't right. You could do things like the cord cutting, aura cleansing is a great thing, energy work. So what happens if you're, quote, all systems down, end quote, like me? It's not just my ankle. I know there's more wrong. I mean, this aging thing that I've done, the exhaustion, it's mental, it's spiritual, this whole sickness has just invaded my entire body. So look for cycles repeating, some triggers that trigger over and over, a heaviness that you can't explain. Are you carrying some bad baggage that isn't even yours? Like, hello, ancestors, thanks. Are you maybe having some shadow parts come up, bubble up that you've been trying to bury? This is where you might try that dark moon journaling, the ancestral altar, or do real shadow work, which I'll talk a little bit more about later as far as healing goes. If you just feel, quote, off and can't pinpoint what it is, start broad to try to figure it out. Cleanse your space, see if that helps. Just maybe you just need a good cleansing. Take a salt bath. Ground yourself, like I said before, go outside, stand in the grass, wiggle your toes in the dirt. Just feel how that makes you feel, which right now it's actually kind of coolish. Coolish, I say it's in the mid 80s, but better than hundreds to whatever. But it actually does feel good to go outside and feel the sun, feel my toes in the grass, and I can do that here in Georgia. I don't know about where all of you all live. But you start broad. Ground yourself, cleanse yourself, see if that helps. That might do the trick. Lucky you if it does. Check in after that. Notice if anything feels lighter, what feels lighter. And if you still feel heavy, what is it that still feels cumbersome? And then you follow those breadcrumbs. Like if your body still aches, it might be physical healing that you need. If your heart aches, it's probably emotional healing that you need. If your brain is still in chaos, you might need mental healing. And if your soul just kind of feels meh, it might be spiritual healing. And, you know, does having all of the above mean you're just fucking broken and can't be healed and that there's nothing you can do? I mean, I fit into all of these categories, but no, it just means that your healing journey might be longer than someone else's. If someone is lucky enough to know that it's just emotional, big bad breakup, whatever, and they know it's emotional, great. They can follow that path and heal that wound and be better really quick. If it's all of the above, and I don't, you might think it's all of the above, but I think as you start exploring what it is that actually isn't right, you're going to be able to narrow it down to maybe two or three things, maybe one thing. It might not be all of these things. So when I start looking into this, it might not be that I'm really all of these things. I might not be broken. I saw a little quote. It's one of my affirmations I did for my altar, and it says, I'm not broken, I'm becoming. And I like that. I'm going to stick by that. But think of your exploration into what's wrong as magical troubleshooting. First, you reboot, you turn the computer on and off. Let's turn everything on and off. Start with that cleanse and that grounding, and then figure out which app it is that keeps crashing. I mean, I love that analogy. I think that's a great way to think about how you try to pinpoint what's wrong with your health and what needs healing. So, what are some ways that you can heal once you figure out what it is? All right, let's say you've discovered it's physical. It's physical. This is what I need healing on. It's totally physical. So for stress reduction, you might do rituals, meditations, and visualizations, because those can calm your nervous system, which can really help affect your healing speed. So your body's still trying to heal itself. When I was on the antibiotics antibiotics were trying to help my body heal. But if I had done some meditation, which I didn't think to do off the bat, I guess I was just overwhelmed with everything that was going on, it might have helped affect the healing speed, the speed at which I was healing. Energy direction, try that. Laying on hands, the Reiki, channeling light, those things can bring comfort, they can ease pain, and they can stimulate the body's natural repair systems. That's a good thing too. And then try some symbolic action. Use herbs, crystals, and candles to give the mind and spirit a focus point. That's, it's sometimes you're there going, where do I even begin? Well, go back to the basics of magic, and sometimes that can give you a starting point, a focal point to go. And then a relaxed, focused mind often can help you lead to better physical outcomes. Did you know there is a placebo effect, but witchier, where science already knows that belief affects healing? They've done CAT scans. I don't know if that's the right MRI. I think CAT scans where they watch the brain and they have watched how belief or prayer or focus affects your body. And and it does. Believing that you are better is the first step there. Remember last week I was talking about manifestation. That belief, believe that you're already there, and that's half the battle. Magic is just packages it. It packages it in incense and moonlight, but it it helps. And I wouldn't say that it's a placebo effect either. I think it's a real thing. I think it's, the science doesn't. I think science will one day find that magic is scientific. I think it is. Energy is all around us. It's just some of us are more tuned into it than others. Okay, I went way off track on that. But magic isn't going to help set a broken bone. It won't regrow a limb, but it can help you recover, reduce pain, calm your anxiety, and speed healing alongside with your medical treatment. And I really wish I had embraced this earlier on in my journey. Magic can add a lot to your medical treatments, antibiotics. One sets the vibe, one kicks the butt out of the bacteria, and the other one works on the rest of your body and helping to implement what the antibiotic is doing. And together, they are invaluable. So the physical healing element, like I said, is earth. And that is the element that it's the element of your body, your bones, your flesh, herbs, roots, and all those tangible things, physical things. When you're working with physical healing, like cuts or colds or broken bones or chronic illnesses, and you needing support for that, earth is your bestie. You might use crystals, herbs, salt, food, soil, and grounding rituals. Think of it as the doctor's office of the elements. The earth is practical, stabilizing, solid. Earth is like your mom. She tells you to eat your vegetables, drink water, and rub some dirt on it. And annoyingly, she's usually right. It was always my dad that said those things, though. Well, my mom said, eat your vegetables. My dad's like, rub some dirt on it. It's fine. Both of them were right. Herbs and kitchen witchery can help with physical healing. Teas, chamomile, ginger, peppermint, honey for wound healing. If you're coughing up a lung, go see your doctor. But if you're coughing up bad vibes, sage the crap out of it. Crystals like amethyst, they are calming, pain relief, hangover relief, as we all know. Bloodstone is great for strength and circulation. Chrysoprase is for healing and compassion. And this is the one that spoke to me. I've gotten some chrysoprase, and I got it right before the full moon, and I charged it in the full moon, and I've been wearing it. And I bought one of those necklaces, crystal holders. You know what I'm talking about? I bought one of those, so it's close to my heart. I put it near my wound. It's on my altar, which is right next to my bed. That is my favorite healing stone right now. And a quick spell idea, if you place a crystal in water overnight, be sure it's not one of those that water hurts. You don't want to do that. But then you can use the water to wash your face and hands with intention. Candle magic, of course, that's one of the basics. That is one of the strongest, simplest types of spells that there is out there. Use blue or green candles. Visualize healing, light filling your body. Okay, mental and emotional healing. You can do color magic. Blue is for calm, yellow for mental clarity, pink for self-love. Sound magic helps with mental and emotional healing. Humming, singing bowls. You might even blast your playlist that you write for healing. And don't forget vibrational sounds. Energy healing is where a witch puts their hands near you and you're supposed to feel better, which basically is the same thing as your cat sitting on your chest and purring, except for your cat doesn't cost $75 an hour. But that vibrational sound of the cat's purr is one of the strongest healing spells that there is. My cat wouldn't come near me when I was on my antibiotics. And now that I've got the PICC line out and the antibiotics have stopped, he comes and lays on my heart all the time. He likes my boob. Apparently it's nice and soft, but he will purr right over my heart. And yeah, that's worth a lot. Journaling for mental and emotional healing. Um, write wounds, write down what your wounds are, burn them, write affirmations, and carry those. Crystal suggestions for mental and emotional healing. You could try lepidolite for anxiety, rose quartz for grief and love, smoky quartz for grounding. For emotional healing, the element, as I said before, is water. So, water is the element of emotions, intuition, grief, love, and the subconscious. When you're dealing with heartbreak, trauma, or roller coaster feelings, water can step in and help you. And so, the tools that you might use, of course, would be baths. That's one of my favorite things. Moon water, tears. Yep, your tears can actually fuel your spells. Shells, ocean and river rituals, things that make you think of water. Think of water as your therapist couch. It's like soft, fluid, and deep. Water helps you ugly cry your way into spiritual clarity. It's basically the friend who brings wine and tissues after you break up. I love water. Mental healing often falls under air, clarity, focus, anxiety, and relief, as opposed to emotional, which is water. So mental clarity is air. And when you write your hurt on the bay leaf, like I said, burn it, blow the ashes to release it. Spiritual healing. So cord cutting rituals for toxic relationships, salt baths. I love Himalayan salt. Lavender. That's like a great witchy spa day, is to soak in a bath with Himalayan sea salt and lavender. God, doesn't get much better than that. Visualization and energy healing, like picture golden light weaving your aura back together. If your aura is broken and if it's been dark, think of a color that makes you happy and try to weave that into your aura. Tie in ancestral practices, healing through connecting with your roots. Sometimes your ancestors can offer you some help. Spiritual healing often uses fire because you're burning away old energy, transforming and renewing into new energy. Shadow work. So this is a way to heal mental, emotional, and spiritual wounds. It's the process of facing those hidden, repressed, or quote, as I said before, ugly parts of yourself, like anger, shame, fear, toxic patterns, and integrating them instead of pretending they don't exist. Embrace them. This is kind of a forced healing through discovery and pain. It's not something anyone ever wants to do. It's just something that we know we probably need to do. Why is it healing? It releases emotional baggage. You're carrying unacknowledged wounds, and it's like dragging a suitcase full of bricks behind you. And shadow work is like, honey, drop that shit, unpack that nonsense, and helps you lighten your load. I saw a TikTok where a guy was talking about, it was a metaphor, and I can't remember what culture it was, but he was talking about this metaphor where you come across this raging river and there's no way across. And so you build a raft and you're able to get yourself across. But once you're across, you think, oh, this helped me before, it might help me again. So you carry that raft with you from then on, and you're carrying this burden that you no longer need. It helped you in the past, but that's not where you are anymore. You're not there. You're not on the other side of that raging chasm. You are on the other side. So you got to release that. And that's what shadow work helps you do. It helps you find those burdens and stop carrying them forward. It also helps you stop your self-sabotage. I am so guilty of this. I think probably everybody is. Even the most confident seeming person has inside deep shadow wounds that need to be healed. But by recognizing unconscious patterns, you stop letting them secretly run the show. Healing begins when you see what you've been tripping up on. It helps lead you to self-acceptance, which is a form of medicine in and of itself. Healing isn't about being perfect. Duh, nobody's perfect. 100%. Even people we think is perfect. I remember as a child, I thought my dad was perfect. He was my hero. And he's still my hero to the day he died. But as I grew, I saw, he wasn't perfect. He was human, just like we all are. But shadow magic and shadow work is about embracing that whole messy self of yourself and being okay with it. When you stop hating your shadows, your emotional wounds can start to close, just like my physical wounds on my ankle, watching them close up and the scab form and then the scab fall off. And now it's smooth but ugly skin. I'm working on it. I did get some Mederma skin. Now that my wounds are healed, I can start trying to work on the scars. Did I tell you all? I think I'm going to do a tattoo on my scars once they're healed, probably a couple years from now. I'm going to have a tattoo artist use my scars and do flowers with bees because, bees are my familiars. So I think I'm excited about it, turning that wound and scars into something that means something to me and to my magic. Uh, Shadow work brings about a mind-body connection. Repressed emotions can manifest physically, like stress, headaches, fatigue. I always get this headache right in the back of my neck, and my husband has to come and rub it. And he's like, there's a physical knot there. And doing shadow work might help reduce whatever it is that's causing my stress and headaches and fatigue. Shadow work helps you release all of that, which can actually ease physical symptoms. It helps break generational crap, I guess I should say. By confronting your shadows, you stop passing that energy down the line, which I would hate to think that I'm carrying on a generational curse to my kids. Let it stop with me. Let me figure this shit out and stop passing it down to my children. Healed witches raise healed witches, or at least witches who only need one therapist instead of three. The witchy angle on how to heal shadow wise, you can journal by candlelight. That there's something about sitting in the dark with just candles to light you, and maybe a fireplace if it's winter time. There's something about fire to me. I think I do have a lot of fire witch in me. But journaling by just that light and asking your shadow questions. Do tarot spreads that drag your ass out with honesty. Let them slap you in the face and accept what they're telling you. You can work with moon phases too, especially the dark moon. It's a prime time for shadow work. And then rituals where you write down your fears and burn them, transforming them into ash, and then release is another good way to work with shadows. Shadow work is healing, but because it's like emotional detox, nobody enjoys a juice cleanse, but damn, you feel a lot lighter afterwards. It's facing the monster under the bed and realizing that it's just been your ugly sweater all along. So to recap, for healing, earth is your body fixer, water is your heart healer, air is your mind untangler, and fire is your soul reboot. So that's that in a nutshell. What are some unusual ways that you can practice some healing magic? Maybe you want to do something different, not the regular ho-hum things that have always been done. Laughter spell work. Intentionally laugh. Yes, even fake laughing counts to break up stagnant energy. The power of laughter is amazing, not just for your body, for this, it's sound magic, it's all kinds of things. So bonus points if you want to do this while you're stirring your healing potion. Laugh into it. Thread healing. Not magic is for wellness. So take a colored thread, green for physical healing, blue for emotional healing, yellow for mental healing, maybe purple for spiritual healing, and weave it into a braid or a bracelet. I actually like braiding my hair. Rin looks really cool. She does sometimes beads in her hair, and it just looks so cool. And so you could do that with the thread. Mirror work for your body. Stand up in front of a mirror. And to me, this is kind of shadow working too. Stand up in front of a mirror, trace your reflection where you feel pain or illness, and then visualize golden light sealing those cracks. It's like a magical body paint, but without the mess. Plant whispering. For those of you green witches out there, Pour your pain into a plant, like literally talk to it and tell it your troubles. Plants are supposed to actually transmute energy, like a leafy therapist. Herbs like rosemary, aloe, or basil can actually absorb negative energy and thrive while you lighten. So it's not like you're pouring toxicity into your plant and it's killing them. They transform it. They work with it. So I think that's a great idea. Healing through music spells. I've talked about sound magic and how important it is, but create a playlist that is aligned with your healing intention. If it's emotional and you got heartbreak, play, come together with a group of songs that mean something for that. Play them during baths, meditations, or even while you're sleeping. Chant or hum with intention. Your voice is spellcraft. And I love that. Stone soaking, but not with crystals that are not good for water. Place crystals that are safe for water, like clear quartz or amethyst, in a bowl of moon water overnight, and then use that water to dab the pulse points on your body as a healing tonic. Or you could put that water, dab it on, like my physical ankle issues, dab it on there. What I like to do, and in my spell, what I did was I dabbed the water on in my third eye, at my crown, and then all the way down to my ankle, and try to let that healing go between the 2 points on my body. Go one further with healing baths. Healing baths are just great. Throw in some lavender, the sea salt that I was talking about, maybe some rose petals. And honestly, it's like a bougie healing soup and you sit in it. I guess that would make us the chicken. I don't know. Bonus, if you don't break your ass trying to get out, that would be what I would do. I would definitely do that. So be very careful when you're sitting and getting in and out of your bath. But I honestly do love a good bath. I mean, why not use it to heal? It's something simple. It's something all of us have. Um, I couldn't do that when my wound was healing. When I had open wounds, I couldn't submerge my ankle, but maybe I can do it now that everything's fixed, and then combine it with music or meditations. That's like triple healing going on there. Okay, this next one is kind of cool. Do a body mapping ritual. So draw or paint a body outline that's meant to be yourself, and mark on it where you feel pain or stress. Is it your heart? Do you have palpitations? Is it the back of your neck? Is it your ankle because you broke it? Um, and mark that on this little drawing and add symbols, herbs, or colors over that area. And then there's two things you can do. You can burn it or bury it to release that ailment. Or I love art. And so to me, I like the idea of coloring those areas with healing doodles and sigils and crayons and colors, and then maybe even hanging it on your mirror so that you look at it. And every time you see it, you think about those parts of your body healing and being inundated with those colors, the blues, the soothing colors, and that kind of thing. I think that is fun. And also, if you are doing a grimoire like me and you do this, you can put this in your grimoire and keep it as a reminder of how you overcame or how you worked on some of your healing that was needed at this point in your life. Sticker spell therapy. I love this one. I just love this one. I love stickers. Um, Dragon Con is coming up, and I've made a bunch of stickers that I'm going to hide all over the different hotels, and people they find them and they're just free. They're just free for people. I'm excited about that. Anyway, sticker spell therapy. Slap healing sigils or words like strength or calm or immune boost, or affirmations like I am strong, I am healing. And you can put those on band-aids, on water bottles. Slap it on your forehead if you want that, if that's your vibe. This is kind of like a vision board, but it's on your body or on whatever it is that you want to put it on. You could put it on your altar, water bottle, whatever. I think that's a fun way. And because you're intentionally looking for stickers that are um, healing oriented, it's a double whammy because you've got your brain working on it as well as the actual words and the thoughts that go into it. And then the last one that I came up with, it's one of my favorites, and I this is so therapeutic, and I know every one of you all has done this. Bubble wrap release. Charge a sheet of bubble wrap with all of your pain, your stress, your bad vibes, whatever it is that you feel is broken or needs to be healed, and then you stomp on it, or you can squeeze them until you pop it all out. I love popping bubble wrap, so this is a great spell that you can do that brings some lightness into, because it's not all about shadow work. That's not the only way to heal. And sometimes you do need some brightness in your life. And who doesn't love to squish those bubble buttons? I love it. All right, let's talk a little bit about professional healers, because let's face it, sometimes we ourselves are just not enough to figure out how to heal ourselves. So, energy workers, the Reiki practitioners, the pranic healers, folks who can channel universal energy really well to help you balance your aura. These are all people that can help you heal when you're not able to do it yourself. Ask for people, friends, coven members to give you ideas. Search the internet, be wary. Chakra classes, that's another one. Do chakra. Oh, and I have always wanted to do sound bath healing. Find a local sound bath person. I just love that. And you know what? You don't have to go out and find a person who is a professional in this. You can try sound bath apps, but I feel like having a person who is professional at energy manipulation can be a stronger step towards healing. You can always find an herbalist or a hedge witch. These are plant people that know leaf, root, or flowers and what ones help your particular ailment. Some are certified. There are certified herbalists and they have real training. But there are scammers out there, so do research for sure. Crystal healers. These are spiritualists who might lay stones on your body to help align your energy points. It might involve chakras, it might not. It might just be the crystals that they choose. But there are professionals out there that can help manipulate your body and align your energy points. Shamans and spirit healers. These are often tied to cultural or ancestral practices. They might involve drumming or journeying, soul retrievals, and ritual healing. This is what Will was talking about. Is I think he had an experience with a spiritual healer that really helped him, so he highly recommends. So you can also find a witch who specializes in healing. Kitchen witches, green witches, eclectic witches. There are actual witches out there who craft healing spells, teas, charms, and rituals. I'm not talking about the Etsy people out there who say, "Oh, here's a healing spell." Now, some of those are real. Some of them are legitimate. Just do your research. Legit healers set clear boundaries. They'll tell you exactly what their work can and cannot do. If someone promises that they're going to cure your chronic illness or hex your ex or, make you rich by Thursday, just run, witch, run. Look for testimonials. Check reviews, social media, community boards, find out if they have long-term clients who vouch for them. A double bonus if their clients don't sound like they're the healer's mother. Trust your intuition. Your gut is your best magical compass. If you feel weird, pressured, or like something's off, it probably is. If you feel open, calm, and respected, then that's a green light. Go with this person. A pro witch tip, start small. Book a little short session with this person to see if they're the real deal or not. See if it helps you. It might not be what you need. Think of it as a test spell. So that's about all I've got this time. I hope you guys are all healing out there. And if not, may your wounds heal, your vibes be high, and your exes stay blocked. This was a fun episode. I learned so much on this one looking at these things. I learned that healing magic is not about replacing doctors. It's about boosting your spirit while you heal. It's kind of like glitter. It doesn't actually fix the problem, but damn, it sure does feel good and fabulous while you're doing it. If you like this show, you can find us at www.c3witchypodcast.com. There you can find our merch, our episodes, links to support us on either Buzzsprout or Patreon. With both Buzzsprout and Patreon, you can get access to our After Dark series. We just posted an episode of Hair Magic, part one. So if you want to hear that, become a patron. On the Patreon side, you get extra goodies, like I just posted some Maven altar cards and a Maven planner because it's right around the corner. So it's got things like, menus to plan and how to decorate and who you might want to invite and what kind of things you might want to do for a Maven party. Since it is our Thanksgiving, it's a big one. Thanks to all our patrons that already support us. We couldn't do this without you guys. I did notice that my Buzzsprout supporters have not listened to the latest After Dark episode, so don't forget that it's out there, guys. You can go and pull that one up, same place that you normally listen to the podcast on. I am definitely going to be practicing some of these healing tips, and hopefully that will set me straight. I hope I'm going to rejuvenate. I feel like I am. It's just been a long, rocky road, and I look in the mirror, and it's hard not to come up with that self, not hate, but it's like, damn, girl, what happened to you? Well, I know what happened to me. I've been through a whole huge trauma, and I'm healing, and I have to remember that. And I'm focusing on that. And I do have I will post the healing spell that I wrote for myself on Patreon for those of you who do that. And I'm going to post how to find a good, reputable professional healer. I'll post that on the regular website on our blog so that that will be something that you can just print out and think about if you want to go and find a professional healer. So love you guys, appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll be back. And until then, stay witchy.